Okay, delegates, I told you that we had a special guest to join us here today. No premature drumming, Kelly. We always say the upcoming election is important, but this year, that could not be more true. Elections have consequences for our profession and our students. It's high stakes. The future of our schools and our state is on the ballot. We know that more education funding is sorely needed. You've identified class size, universal pre-K, heated and air-conditioned buildings. All of those need funding. Statewide, there's nearly a $3 billion annual shortfall, which means each of our schools is underfunded by around $2 million each year. This is simply unacceptable. Our kids only get one chance at a strong education. They deserve a comprehensive plan that delivers lasting opportunity in every single Maryland community. But this year, voting yes on question 1 to fix the fund is just step 1. After the election, the Kerwin Commission will release its final recommendations. Then in 2019, the General Assembly will take up the Kerwin Commission's recommendations and vote on new funding formulas to help close this gap. None of this works if we don't elect champions for public education. In the General Assembly, but most importantly in the governor's office, to ensure these recommendations are translated into legislation and put into law with our voice at the table. Now, being the smart and savvy activists that you are, all of you, you already know this. And that is why last April, when we came together for our spring representative assembly, which many of you were part of, 85% of the delegates voted to endorse Ben Jealous for governor. Ben has a comprehensive plan which starts with fully funding our schools. It includes significant pay raises for teachers and requiring a living wage for our support staff. Ben will appoint educators to the State Board of Education. He will work with MSEA and other educators, not against us like our current governor. This election is simply too important for any of us to just sit on the sidelines. We need everyone to sign up for a Canvas shift and Apple ballot shift. This election is about the folks I talked about yesterday, our kids. My kids and yours. That's what this election is about. And folks, you've seen possibly on social media, I've had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with Ben on the campaign trail, at press conferences, on the school bus, and at different events. I've had the opportunity to listen to his speeches and his commitments to Maryland and especially to education. I've gotten to know not only Ben Jealous, the candidate, but I've gotten to know Ben Jealous, the son of 2 former Baltimore City teachers, one who helped desegregate Western High School in Baltimore City. I can tell you, delegates, in my long career, Ben knows what we need, knows what we want. He is one of us. So join me in welcoming our candidate, our champion, Ben Jealous.
Good morning. Let's go win this. What a difference a year makes. It's good to be back here with you, and I'm proud to be joined on stage by several of your presidents, Abby Benton, Baltimore County, Teresa Dudley from Prince George's County, Christopher Lloyd, Russell Leone, Jeanette Young, and as I told her, you know, she's young and I'm jealous, and Colleen Morris. And who? And Ms. Denise Yorkshire. A year and a half ago, started this journey towards this point. I got the same advice that every candidate got. Go out and listen to the teachers in every county. I'm the only one who tried. And what I learned along the way is how connected we all are. How our families, the families whose stories you carry with you because you work with them every day, you lift their children up every day. Our family struggles have more in common than they have uncommon. The corner of the state, families are worried as their kids get older that the public universities cost too much. Every corner of this state, we have teachers commuting across a county or two because the housing is more affordable where they live than where they teach. All across the state, you meet young people who have buried too many friends because of the opioid epidemic or gun violence or both. Corner of the state, you meet families that are struggling with multi-generational unemployment, underemployment. The corner of the state, you meet families who are struggling with the weight of a healthcare system that is broken and bankrupting, driving the foreclosure crisis in many ways. In every corner of the state, you meet young geniuses who are ready to just help lead us to a better place. Every corner of the state, you meet teachers who are working every day, pulling money out of their pockets because they believe in those geniuses. The corner of the state, you meet custodians and education support professionals who are heroes to little children, like my boy Jack. Jack was 4 when I started this journey. He's now 6.5. Kindergarten teachers will recognize that that transformation is like, I don't know. I mean, it's like watching a 10-year-old become 25. What happens between 4 and 6.5 is pretty amazing. The corner of this state, you sit in communities where if we just made sure that everybody had broadband, we could bring back more jobs and we could unleash the potential of the entrepreneurs and of the students who go home from school unable to study and pursue their interests as quickly as students in other places. That's in rural areas, that's in Baltimore City. I can take you to those neighborhoods. And what does it affirm? As I look out at this audience that literally looks like my family. Dad was a red-haired, green-eyed teacher in Harlem Park, stuck out like a sore thumb in 1966. Mom's a black girl from West Baltimore. And everybody in this room looks like somebody in my family. But when you travel to every corner of the state, what you realize is that there is only one family. There is a Maryland family. That we are all connected. That the legacy of slavery and segregation, that's left us with a state song that refers to Abraham Lincoln as a despot that none of us want our children singing. That when you listen to the teachers, when you listen to the educators, when you listen to the families, when you listen to the children, you hear a different song in Maryland. You hear a song that says, yes, we can. A song that says, yes, we must. A song that says, yes, we will. Because just as we cannot afford to tolerate a governor who would refer to teachers as thugs, even more than that, we cannot afford to tolerate a status quo that throws children away, that treats teachers and educators as disposable, underpaying each, and that pretends like we don't need every family to be lifted to its full potential to reach the full potential of our state. And so, sisters and brothers, I'm here today, just like I was during the primary. You know, we defied every poll in the primary. We lost every poll, and then we won the primary by 10 points. We won every county in the state, except for 2. Every region of the state. This guy whose family, this black guy's family is rooted in West Baltimore, won every rural county in Maryland in that primary. And what it speaks to, one, is how we're going to win this general election. We will turn out more than 1 million voters. We know no Republican can. And we will take it back. We will get on and we will make sure that we give every teacher a raise, every educator a raise. We will fix this healthcare crisis that's casting families into bankruptcy. And we will end the massive student debt crisis and pay for it by ending mass incarceration. And along the way, I want you to recognize that we are building a movement that recognizes what the people of Maryland know in our hearts, that all of these kids are all our kids. We stand up to the National Rifle Association because they are all our kids. We stand up for health care because they are all our kids. We stand up for their teachers because they are all our kids. And the education support professionals because they are all our kids. We stand up for public transportation and reviving the Red Line in Baltimore because they are all our kids. We have 17 days to win this. And we need everyone in this room to go back and get every person in the school, to get every family in the school focused on the fact that there is a real choice. Don't let anybody try to convince you I'm running against Larry Hogan. I think Larry Hogan's a nice guy. I wouldn't mind having a beer with him, you know, when he's not calling teachers thugs or terrorizing immigrants or pretending he's the one American in the country who doesn't have an opinion on Brett Kavanaugh. Really? Come on. When I was 18 years old, I had an opinion on Clarence Thomas. I was educated enough and qualified enough. And you, Governor? But somewhere in there, I'm sure he's a pretty nice guy. No, we are running against his record. His record in which our schools have fallen in national rankings every year. Murder is up. Opioid deaths are up. Everything that was supposed to go down went up, and everything that was supposed to go up went down. And let us go out of here focused on turning everybody out, working every poll, making every call we can, knocking on every door we can. Don't let anybody discourage you. The polls you're seeing, I'll be plain with you, are because 10 out of 10 voters know him and 7 out of 10 voters know me. And we know from our own internal polls that the moment we get to every voter knowing me, we will be ahead by 6 points. This is not about anything other than a movement of people across our state deciding to take on a wealthy incumbent governor funded by pharmaceutical companies and the Koch brothers. And in the next 2.5 weeks, as you see our messages go up on air and every voter be educated that there's a real Democrat in this race, focus on fully funding our schools, understand that the lift will get lighter every day. And if we lean in, if we push hard, we will prove once again that when organized people take on organized money, we win every time. And so you may have come into this room, teachers feeling a little weary from the week, educators feeling a little weary from the week, but you must go out of this room as the organizers you are on fire to win this. Let us stand up for our kids. Let us stand up for our families. Let us stand up for our state. And let us get ready to push 1 million voters to the polls. And demonstrate to those who would push our families backwards that there's only one way we're willing to go, and that's forwards. On to a Maryland where educators are paid their due, children are taught in every corner of the state with every resource we can provide to make sure that they all fly towards their dreams. And where working families are once again finally in charge of our state's priorities from the very top. God bless each of you. We defied every poll to win the primary, and we're about to defy every poll to win the general. Let's go win this. And let's hear it for Cheryl Boast.